approaching another ride. This is episode number 5 today of our Uber vlogs. I live stream my Uber and want to share some amazing moments that I have on the regular in the course of my day. I enjoy my vibe. I enjoy the vibe of my Uber and the people that I get to meet. It's not always a home run. Sometimes it's just a quiet ride, so it may not be entertaining at that point, in which case I'll just flip the screen. I don't interact with your messages because my ride is my priority, but I will respond to them afterwards. But I'm glad you're here. Glad you are tuning in, and if you're watching the replay, welcome as well. I'm just pulling up now. Let me just see if I can find a home somewhere around here. One of the really wonderful things that I appreciate is a vehicle that can handle deep snow around here. It's awesome because some of the areas, if I had just a two-wheeler, like not a two-wheeler, but a instead of an all-wheel drive, just a two-wheel drive, then it would be very challenging. So yeah, so grateful for this opportunity to do what I do. I'm going to just change the page for my questions today in case we get a chance to explore those. Oh, there she is. Weird. Rebecca, my name is Biniam.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I want to give you a quick update here, or a heads up. I do an unusual thing in my Uber where I love live streaming and sharing amazing moments I get along the way. So please don't share anything too personal that you're like, I don't want anyone to know that. Okay. Let me guess what you're up to today. I'm guessing you are on your way to a cruise at the end. You're going to the airport.
No.
That was a bad guess. Let me try again. I'm guessing I saw your backpack.
Yes.
It's not packed for traveling, of course. You're a student?
I'm not.
You're not a student. Okay. So forget that. That was my best guess, actually. I'm gonna leave with that one. Yeah.
No, I'm just going to work.
Just go to work.
Yeah.
What do you do for work?
I work at a bowling alley. So I work in the kitchen or serving. I do both.
Oh, I see. Do you get any special perks for working at a bowling alley?
Just a discount in bowling.
Not even free bowling. Oh man.
It's
Okay.
basically free. It's like $1.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad, yeah. For the bowling,
Yeah.
but not for the food.
No, it's 50% off.
Can you imagine if you got like the same perk for food?
Yeah. That would be nice.
Oh, that'd be amazing. But is bowling fun for you, or after being around it a lot, are you like, yeah?
Well, I'm still new.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've only bowled like one time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In your life? Or just because of the purse?
Like recently.
Yeah. Okay. Bowling is like one of those fun things, but I often wonder if you're actually working there, if it just gets to the point where you're like,
Well, most of the people working there are in like league bowling, so they really enjoy it.
oh,
And
they're like
really
serious.
good. Yeah.
Do they come with their own balls?
Yeah, a lot of them, yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And then you know it's like really, okay.
Yeah.
And those bags that they carry their balls in are like heavy.
Yeah.
So does that mean then you guys just don't even provide them balls because they just are good with their own?
No, we do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Interesting. Alright, so those individuals are really into bowling who are in this bowling league. What are you into in such a way? If you could choose.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're still finding out
Still
like...
figuring it out.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. Totally fair. I like how the trees like overarch over the road in this thing. Isn't this beautiful?
It's pretty.
It's really pretty. Are you an original Calgarian?
From Quebec.
You don't say.
But I don't speak French. So.
I was gonna say I don't. It's a French accent.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I moved here when I was like 7.
Okay.
So the French kind of left like right away.
You did have access once upon a time,
Yeah.
but you just didn't stick with it.
No, because I lived with like my aunt and they all spoke English. So.
Hmm. When I moved here, I was 8.
Oh yeah.
So,
Where are you from?
Ethiopia originally.
Nice.
I grew up in Kenya, but I was born in Ethiopia.
Nice.
And I grew up in BC.
Oh, BC.
Yeah.
It's expensive over there.
It is now. Holy crap, yeah.
I went there for the first time like a few months ago.
Okay.
And it's really pretty.
Agreed.
It's very pretty.
Where did you go in BC?
Burnaby.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to visit like my boyfriend's parents.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was super pretty.
I agree.
Very like humid. It was during summer. And I was
Yep.
like, whoa.
Yep. It's definitely humid as well. But did you, like, were you blown away by how luscious and green it was? Like the vegetation?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like, right on the side of the highway, it's almost like a wall of green, right? Yeah. In a way we don't see very much here.
No.
No.
And it's just mountains everywhere.
Yeah, like right there, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. Interestingly enough, though, like when I tell people that I'm from BC, they often say, "Oh, like it's so nice and warm there," and I say, "Not necessarily. Like only that it does. Only in that corner, though, like by the coast." So that's what most people think when they think BC. They're like, "Oh, Vancouver," and then they extrapolate that the rest of the province might be the same, but it's not. So like the rest of the province is very similar, I would say, to here. But Vancouver is and area like the island and so on. Yeah, are typically the way you're experiencing it for sure. So your boyfriend's from Vancouver?
No, it's from Russia.
Oh, no
Or
way.
Kazakhstan.
Oh my goodness. Originally?
Yeah.
And how long has he been here for?
He came here at like 7 or 8.
Oh, okay. So he's basically Canadian as well.
Yeah, but he still like speaks Russian. So
No way.
It's,
Does he have an accent or no?
No.
Okay. So yeah, because he came early enough, right?
Yeah. But his parents.
Gotcha. And he's still fluent in it as well.
Yeah.
Cool. How long have you guys been dating for?
Just a few months.
Okay.
We met in like 7th grade, and so we dated for like 2 years from 7th grade to like 9th grade.
Yeah.
And then we broke up. We moved away
Yeah.
to Vancouver. And then he moved back, and we got back together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? That's
That
quite...
was like 5 years. We're 21 now.
Yeah.
So it was a little while ago.
That is an amazing story. I love it. Okay. When he came back though, was it this is like, how did it work? Like, did you say, okay, we know each other already, let's do this and see if it works out?
No, we were just friends.
Yeah.
We stayed friends like when we moved away and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then he moved back. We were still friends. We didn't really hang out like in person.
Yeah.
And one day he asked if we could drive to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
And then we started hanging out, and then it just kind of happened.
You know what song I have playing in my head as you're telling me all this? The one from Lion King. I can see what's happening. What? And they don't have a clue. That's my goofy coming out. Wow, that's a really sweet story. Now, I'd be really interested in hearing his perspective because I know as an immigrant from a different country coming here at a young age, it feels like I grew up in 2 different cultures.
Yeah.
Which can be really confusing, I think, for a young kid, right? So I'd love to hear his perspective at some point. But in your time together, relationally, have you guys identified different ways of thinking or like seeing the world, and you had to like process and say, "Oh, that was culturally formed"?
I don't think so.
No, eh?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
We think pretty similar.
Yeah.
I think it's because we like grew up together basically. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Very cool. And that was here in Calgary, of course, like you were saying. No, yeah, you guys met here in Calgary.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel you're more Western now, like Western Canadianized? Because I mean, like Eastern, like Quebec is a very different zone in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Or do you still feel like strong ties there?
Not really. I don't really remember Quebec that well.
Yeah.
Because I was like pretty young.
Sure enough.
Yeah, and I haven't been back, so.
Okay, gotcha. This is home now.
Huh?
This is home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to go back, because since I don't remember it a lot, but
Yeah.
I just haven't had the chance to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
See, I have a lot of memories from Kenya where I grew up. Just my childhood though, right? They're fleeting. My memory is not my greatest forte.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I had this guy this morning that I picked up and he recognized me right away. He's like, oh, I've driven with you before. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And he told me, this is like from 3 years back.
Oh.
I know. Do you know what he told me he recognized?
Hmm.
My curly hair.
Oh.
Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm teasing. No, he recognized me by my name, which I told him was interesting because usually the way most of my followers and most people will recognize me is the bow ties.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I always wear bow ties, right? So, yeah. That was really interesting though. And even on the dance floor, like I last couple of years I've really gotten into dancing. At different raves and stuff, and I have a good time, and I meet lots of people because apparently the way I dance is very unique and noteworthy, and people really appreciate it, and they often come and express appreciation, and I'm like, great, and then they'll see me again at future events, and like, hey, I'm like, hey, remind me, how do we know each other? Oh, it's kind of embarrassing, but yeah, it's awkward more than anything. I'm like, just so you know, I'm sure our previous meeting was meaningful. I just don't remember because I have a terrible memory. The way I kind of process it, Rebecca, is I think that maybe my memory is so bad because I feel like I keep on just making new memories and ongoing, which I like, but I don't have a lot. Yeah, that's my story. So you've been out of high school for a few years now.
Yeah, I graduated 2022.
Okay. Yeah, a couple of years ago now. How has life been outside of high school? Has it been like so much fun, or is it like, oh,
It's
right?
been like okay.
It's been okay.
Yeah, I miss high school.
You do?
I do. Yeah.
So what do you miss about high school?
Just the friends.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
There we
I'm not
go.
in touch with like any of them. Maybe like one.
Did they move away?
No, we just kind of like drifted.
Yeah.
Didn't keep in touch.
So you're still in the same city, but just different lives now?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Fair. And I've heard this from many that it's really difficult making friends as a grown-up.
It is.
You feel the same?
Yeah, and I'm just a very quiet person.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I only have like 2 friends.
I see. So they're very tight friends nonetheless.
Yes.
Yeah, for my part, I just don't talk to strangers at all. Like I don't talk if I don't know you, I don't talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I am.
Well, that's usually how I am.
Yeah, fair. So you're an introvert.
Very much so.
Very much so. So when you meet someone like me, you're like, ooh, this guy's really too much.
I don't think too much. I'm just like wow, I could never.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You can never what?
Like be so social.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
I think it's more just like an anxiety thing. Like it's
Right.
not like a choice.
Right. No, I get that. I'd love to hear your perspective of what, in your experience, feeds that anxiety. Because my little baby sister, she is just a year older than you. So she's sweet. Like she's one of my favorite people, nonetheless. And she lives with me too. But I was telling her about how, like a couple of weekends ago, I was on the dance floor and I was there early, and there's no one on the dance floor, so I was in heaven. Because when I'm on the dance floor, I like space around me. I like moving, And so I'm always kind of like scouting the area for like where can I find more space. But when there's no one on the dance floor, you have the whole floor to yourself. And so I was in heaven and just dancing away. And she's like, "You got like no social anxieties," she said. I'm like, "Oh, I guess that's the thing, right?" What do you think it is for you that feeds that social anxiety?
Honestly, I don't know. A lot of people ask me that, and I never know how to answer it.
Got it.
Like I've just always been this way.
Got it.
I think it's just like maybe my upbringing.
Sure.
I wasn't around very many people. I was always at home, so
Yeah.
I think that affected it.
That might be part of it.
Yeah. I mean, like during elementary, I didn't really have too much anxiety, but
Yeah.
junior high, something about junior high.
Yeah.
Was just so
lot more energy up at the start to go through it.
Yeah, it's
Speed
a
and
lot
run by
different.
camera in 300 meters.
Gotcha.
Speed limit is 50 kilometers
I
per
hear that.
hour.
I've got 2 ideas, and I'd love to hear your feedback on them. Not by way of like agreeing, but just seeing if they resonate. On the one hand, I think there are legitimately people who are introverts by nature, like that's how they're wired, and there's people who are like far more extroverted. And so I like legitimizing those I guess states that people are in, because it sounds like almost something that they didn't choose, but that's just the way they are, right?
Yeah.
So there's one. And then secondly, like maybe more culturally nuanced interpretation on my part, but I wonder if that sense of like the social part, the fear for, you know, putting oneself out there, like I just put myself out there, right? And you're like, oh, this guy's bold. But I wonder if that element is challenging because maybe especially when we were younger, like in our formative years, when we did not know fear, maybe at one point we could express whatever and saying I want that, or I feel this, or I believe this, and then somewhere along the way maybe there was, I call them like the ouch factor where I don't know, you got made fun of at school for something, or you got mocked, or you got like there's just something that happened maybe enough times that you're like, if I really show who I really am, the way I see the world or experience or desire, it's painful. And so then we start learning ways of retreating and saying, I'm going to keep this part that really is me protected so that no one has access to hurt me like that. But I'm going to learn like some cues socially that I can mimic so that I can survive that doesn't really reflect me. And so I can never actually tell what my real state is.
Yeah.
Does that resonate?
Yeah, it does.
It does, eh?
Yeah, I think that's kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like how I've processed that. And it seems common.
Yeah.
You know, because here's the thing, I live down in the Beltline, and I live just a block away from 17th, where the whole city comes for their fun time, from bars to restaurants, and I love walking up and down that street, and I love seeing and hearing all the people who are just having a good time and eating out, and I'm like, man, they look like they're having a good time. But then in the back of my mind, what I'm really wondering is, in the midst of all this amazing company that they may be having, how many of these individuals are actually really free to express who they truly are, or how many are actually just putting on a face, and at the end of all this fun time, still going home and saying, but I wish that someone knew me and was okay with the way I am, but I don't feel safe to do that yet. Just something I think about often.
Yeah.
So I get it, I think. I get it, and I can resonate.
Seems like you do.
I know I drive a lot of super early mornings, and I'm often reminding myself in the super early mornings when I'm picking up people who are probably just waking up and they're not quite awake yet. I better like taper down my enthusiasm, because it can be challenging for someone who's like, oh man,
Yeah,
you're
right
just
in the morning.
No.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person.
I really, yeah. If you could, what's your ideal time to wake up and start your day?
Probably like noon.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then your bedtime, when you're like, okay, now it's time for me to shut down.
I like to go to bed at like, ideally like 11.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I go to bed way later, especially because a lot of the time I get off work at like 12 o'clock.
At nighttime.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
I always do work home.
Okay.
But yeah, so then I go home and I need to like unwind. So like I go to bed at like 2 a.m.
Gotcha. And what's your favorite way of unwinding?
Just laying in bed, going on my phone.
Oh, I see. Just scrolling
like
kind of
watching
thing.
YouTube.
Totally.
Just,
Yeah. I get that. I enjoy that as well too.
Mhm.
I'm usually on TikTok.
TikTok.
TikTok is, it's fun. It's just little snippets of, oh, that's interesting, or that's funny, or whatever.
And I don't have like much of an attention span,
Mhm.
so TikTok's very nice.
It hits the spot.
Yes.
Fair. Rebecca, okay, so on the one hand, I would say, okay, I'm getting to know so much about you, which I really appreciate. I'm learning that you are quiet. You work through social anxiety. This next part I'm going to say it's not a compliment, so don't take it as a compliment. It's just an observation. You're attractive, but the question that I'm following on now and there is, aside from that though, what do you really appreciate being noticed for or acknowledged for in your character that you're like, okay, this person really gets me in a way that I feel seen?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I like when people call me smart. I like when they notice I'm smart. Because I can act like I'm pretty, like people call me an airhead a lot. Like I can act just
Yeah, yeah.
But like when it comes to like academics,
Yeah.
I am pretty smart.
Yeah.
So I like when they
Acknowledge that. Yeah.
That's probably my favorite thing.
That's a cool thing. But it takes time to see that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Person spending time with you and saying, oh, I see your MO, and
Yeah.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing. I see it. It is kind of a hurtful one when they're like, oh, you're just an airhead. Though. That's...
Yeah, I get called that a lot. I mean,
Really?
like, yeah, or they call me like a stereotypical, like, dumb blonde.
Dumb blonde.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I could act like I don't always like think or act sometimes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I think the part about why I was a little sad that is your reality is because it's almost like an assessment that doesn't give an individual the opportunity. Like, it's almost like an instantaneous assessment of someone without actually knowing them well enough to say, is this person truly in their head? It's almost like a knee-jerk, I'm just going to spout this out, and it's not, it doesn't create any space for saying, let me understand before I pass judgment.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't see it. Yeah, there's something really profound in the feeling a person can get when they feel seen for, what they're bringing to the table. That is actually a beautiful thing, I think. But it takes investment to get there, doesn't it? It takes like that kind of, intentionality to say, there's more here, and I'd love to hear it from your perspective so that I can see you the way you want to be seen. And yeah. I hear it though. Are you an only child?
No, for a while I was.
Oh, you were? Okay.
But I have 4 younger siblings.
Oh, wow.
Or 5, but I think there's 4 of them.
Yep.
One is with my dad in Quebec.
Okay.
And then I have an older stepbrother. But yeah.
Okay. So there's 6 of you all together?
Yeah. Or 7.
7.
Including me.
Gotcha. And you're the second eldest.
Yeah. My stepbrother's the oldest. He's, I think he's 24.
Yep.
Yeah.
And your youngest is?
2.
Cool. So you and I share a very similar experience because my baby sister that I was telling you about, she's just a year older than you are. She's 22 years my junior.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So this year she is half my age. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm the oldest of 6 in my family.
yeah.
So there's like the older 3 that came to Canada initially, me and my 2 brothers, and then my mom and dad had 3 more in my teen years and into my 20s. So it's been so much fun watching them grow up though.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like the oldest, the youngest siblings, he's 8 now.
Yeah.
And it's just weird, like seeing them like reading and doing math. I'm
Yeah.
like,
You were a kid before, right?
you're just a baby. How can you read that?
Yeah. No, like my baby sister is now she's my roommate, and I mean, yeah, watching the younger 3 grow up, I'm so thrilled as I watch their experience and how they, become adults now. We have like great conversations, and I see the world from their side, and it's just beautiful. So
Yeah, I'm excited for that, honestly.
it's a coming.
Yeah, my siblings have they already have so much personality. I'm so curious to see how they're gonna
How it
turn
evolves.
out.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's amazing. Darling, we're just about there. I don't often ask this, I really do, but like with my live stream, you're not on camera. I really enjoyed my conversation with you.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
I want to make sure you know that you can say no to my next request. I would love to be able to share like the video portion with my followers. I know it's not everyone's jam, though, especially who really value the privacy of their quiet. And so that's why I want to make sure you feel
maybe not.
absolutely, and that's why I want to honor that too.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you didn't say sorry, because that's a legitimate thing. And no is a totally cool thing. That's why I say
Thank you for asking.
you're welcome. Yeah, it's important. One of the things I really want to model, even as I create content and take up space online, is what does consent look like in a way where everyone is on the same page and honored.
Yeah. Consent is important.
I agree. I agree. And many maybe haven't seen what that could look like, but I want to make that part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So thank you for having access to it too. This place I've never been to. I mean, I've dropped people off, but I've never actually.
Like Bintegers.
Yeah, it looks
It's a nice place.
it looks massive.
Yeah, they're expanding.
And then next door you have the rolling blade place.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I've never been there.
I'm so glad to have met you, Rebecca.
Yeah, me too.
You're amazing, worthwhile.
Thank you.
I hope I have the
a good
pleasure.
one.
You too. Bye. Friends, wasn't that amazing, worthwhile? Oh. She's in. Good. Just wanted to make sure she's in. We've got 2 minutes before our next ride. Let me just close this one here and start a new one again. I'll see you in a moment.